So throughout these past 8 weeks, I feel like I really have expanded and grown my mind and the fact of how I'm going to approach my classroom when I have my own classroom. This is only the third class that I've taken in the master's program, and I feel like this one has kind of been really eye-opening for me. The two main assignments that really impacted me and really stood out to me was the mapping story and the interview, and the social class paper. And I picked these two assignments because I feel like it highlighted a main theme for me, and I think that theme was the fact that everyone's different, um, but within those differences, there's so many similarities and so many things that we can focus on together, and work on together to solve some issues. Thinking about my high school business classroom that I want in the future, I always knew that I wanted people interacting and not just listening to me lecture for a certain amount of time and them taking a test. And I feel like this class really opened my eyes in the fact that that is possible. I want my students collaborating with one another. I want my students solving issues together, solving problems together. And of course, I'll still be there and I'll still lead them in the right direction, but I want them to use me more as a reference rather than a solve all. Um, Going through the assignments that we did, I feel like it was really eye opening in the fact that not every kid is going to be learning the same way and at the same pace. And I think that's awesome, and I think that's cool because that just highlights the fact that we're all different. But that's not a problem at all. um, I feel like I need to take the time at the beginning of the year to really get to know my students and not just do the cheesy icebreakers or the cheesy get to know yous, to really figure out what makes them tick, and what drives them in life. And I feel like once I can figure that out as a teacher, I feel like I can do so much more for my students other than just having them pass my class. I feel like I can prepare them for life. And I think back to the teachers that I had, whether it was at Regis for my undergrad or whether it was in high school, the ones that stick out most to me were, the ones that took the time out of their day to make sure, not only your schooling's going well, but your entire life is going well. And if there's an issue in any part of a student's life, I feel like school is the last thing on their mind. So I feel like having a day where you can't cover the topics that you wanted just because a couple students aren't into it, and you have to have a full class conversation about a life lesson rather than a school lesson. I feel like that's going to be so much more effective, for the students and for me as a teacher, because I will be able to help them more along rather than just ignoring those issues and just trying to cram information into their head. Um, and I picked the culture interview as a main point for this course because, yeah, it shows that we're different, but it also shows that we're all so similar. And I feel like so many problems that are going on in the world today, and so many issues, we just focus on the differences we have rather than focusing on the similarities that we have. And I feel like once we can establish some common ground with one another, whether it be a teacher to student or a student to student or a nation to a nation, and have some common ground and have some understanding of what is going on, what people go through in their lives. Not everyone's having the best day. Not everyone's having the best year. Not everyone has the best life. But at the same time, I feel like we have to keep that in mind. But we can also not just jump down each other's throats. So that's kind of the reflection I've had throughout this 8 weeks. I really appreciate everything that you have done for me and done for the class. And thank you again.